Hello, everyone. I'm from Jordan, which is a small country in the Middle East, where people still hang on to traditions. These traditions really stand in the way of women's rights. So some women in Jordan are forced to get married from their relatives, and others have to hand over their share of inheritance to their brothers. And women also need their husband's permission to work. So I was lucky. I was raised in a family where my dad never favored my brother over me or my two sisters. We all studied in law school, and we all completed our master's degree in law abroad. And my father never interfered in our choices of career path. He always says, "You all will remain equal regardless your gender." So I was raised in a legal house where my father was a judge for 37 years. He used to talk about the challenges that his female colleagues faced in the beginning of their work in the late 90s, and where people were surprised to see female judges in courts. They used to ask, how could a female judge deal with dangerous criminals? So he had often talked about how these young, pioneering female judges could deal with people. They used to listen to them patiently, and they show their humanity. And this had a great impact on who I am and the principles I believe in and what I stand for. So my 8 years of judicial work made me realize that as a female judge, I have to support women. I have to stand for gender equality, to change the traditional community attitudes, the patriarchal mentality, to create a culture that believes in women's rights. So I remember one day a young man entered to my courtroom and he asked for case number 240. So I was looking for the file in my pile, and I noticed that there was a woman's name on the file cover. So I asked him, and the name was Fatima. I asked him, "What is your relationship to Fatima?" He said, "She's my mother." So I asked, "Where's your mother?" He said that she's outside the courtroom. So I told him, "She is the one who's supposed to be here, not you. So please call your mother." She came into the courtroom, and I noticed that she was in her mid-50s. She was nervous and embarrassed. So I tried to gain her trust. I calmed her down. She told me it's her first time in court. So I told her it's okay to exercise your right, and it's okay to be here. It's your right. It's your case. It's not your son's case. So I think that female judges make more effort than male judges to deal and to build trust, to gain people's trust. Even in penal cases, especially in family abuse cases, when it comes to issuing an arrest warrant to the husband who beats his wife, because we as female judges can empathize how it feels to be insulted and beaten. So as one of 215 female judges, which is equivalent to 22% of the judiciary in Jordan, I decided to work on empowering women to access to justice and to reach leadership positions. So I volunteered in a program which was organized by the Arab Women Legal Network for female students in the Judicial Institute, female law school students in Jordan universities, and female trainees in the legal professions. I tried to exchange my experience with these students and trainees. So they used to come like 3 days a week to the court, and they used to sit next to me, and they saw what happened in practice. They were excited, and I remembered I told them a story which surprised them. A defendant entered my colleague's courtroom, and she was a female judge, and he was looking around, and he asked, "Where is the judge?" And she said, "I am the judge." And he couldn't believe that. Yes. So he refused to keep his file in her courtroom, and his excuse was her gender. He wanted a male judge to consider his case. So she kept calm, she wasn't affected, and she understood his attitude. And these two students, who I told them the story, understood that his behavior was because he was raised in a community or a society that doesn't accept a woman as a judge. So I also shared the difficulties that we faced as female judges with these students, because I think it's important for these students to understand what is going on in court and to see what happened with us as female judges every day. So because we're working on creating a generation of female lawyers and judges who might become in the future head of court, head of the Judicial Council, or a deputy general. So it's important to work with these students so they can reach to decision-making positions. And because women challenge the straitjacket of the gender stereotype. So to do so, I'm working now in a project which is creating a gender unit in the judiciary in Jordan. This unit will be specialized in administrative and judicial aspects to offer or provide opportunities to men and women in the judiciary, and to improve women's access to justice. I'm optimistic. I know that we have a lot to do, but things are moving. And finally, I think that women will no longer stay in the shadow, and their voices will be heard. Thank you.